But I'm going to answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to fail. Mr. Haslam, that's a different animal right there. It's a $230 million guaranteed deal to Deshaun Watson. And then he's going to come out this time around. I had nothing to do with this pick. I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, that wasn't me. That was...
The optics don't look great because it looks like there's friction between ownership and the front office as to why the pick was made in the first place, when it was made, and the situation that he was put in from the very beginning of camp of not getting first-team reps.
Right.
Fans can't believe what just happened with Shedeur Sanders. Less than 24 hours before the Browns' preseason opener, the rookie quarterback, with 0 first-team reps, is suddenly named the starter. The team calls it an opportunity, but Stephen A. Smith calls it something far worse, a setup to fail. Even the owner is publicly distancing himself from the pick. No chemistry with his receivers. No rhythm with his line. No time to prepare. And yet, the Browns are throwing him straight into the fire against NFL-caliber competition.
Shedeur Sanders has to work his way up the depth chart, but he will start in the Browns' preseason opener tomorrow against the Panthers.
Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' 5th-round selection and the son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, was never expected to step into the spotlight this quickly. For weeks, his reality was repetition with the third unit. Buried deep in the quarterback rotation, his opportunities limited to mop up reps far from the intensity of first-team action. No meaningful snaps with the starting offense. No timing built with his top receivers. No rhythm with the offensive line that will protect him. And then, out of nowhere, the announcement. Less than 24 hours before kickoff, Cleveland declared that Sanders would start their preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. For the rookie, it's the kind of sudden twist that can define a career. For the Browns, it's a decision that raises more questions than it answers.
And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all. Think about that.
To Stephen A., this wasn't simply an odd coaching decision. It was a red flag. 11 practices into training camp, and Shedeur Sanders was still firmly planted as the 4th quarterback on the depth chart. Not a single rep with the first-team offense. Not a single snap to build chemistry with the starters he'll now be expected to lead. And yet, without warning, he's being thrust into live NFL action, facing a Panthers defense stacked with starters who have been sharpening their game for weeks. It's a baptism by fire, and one that leaves even seasoned analysts questioning the motive. Is this the Browns testing their rookie under pressure, or placing him in a position where failure is almost inevitable? In the unforgiving world of the NFL, the line between opportunity and sabotage can be razor thin.
Okay, Shedeur Sanders is presenting a huge opportunity to plant a seed in Kevin Stefanski's head that maybe I can be that guy at some point down the road.
Right now, the Cleveland Browns quarterback room is overcrowded. 6 players vying for just a handful of spots. It's a situation that no team can sustain for long. At the top sits veteran Joe Flacco, the likely Week 1 starter, carrying the experience and trust of the coaching staff. Behind him, Tyler Huntley, freshly signed, bringing mobility and a proven ability to step in as a backup. Then there's the injury list, Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, both sidelined, their futures uncertain. And finally, Shedeur Sanders, buried in the shuffle. For him, this isn't just about competing for snaps, it's about survival. Every throw, every decision in this preseason carries weight. In a room this crowded, one misstep could mean the difference between climbing the depth chart and being cut from entirely.
This is a guy that was projected to be a top 3 quarterback in the draft. He fell to the 144th pick as a 5th-round pick. It was universally recognized that it extended beyond the field of play as to why his stock plummeted.
To understand why this moment carries so much weight, you have to rewind to one of the most talked about draft nights in recent memory. At Colorado, Shedeur Sanders was more than just a quarterback. He was a headline, a player whose arm talent, composure, and playmaking ability once had scouts projecting him as a potential top 3 pick. But when the lights of draft night came on, the story took a sharp turn. Sanders' name kept sliding down the board, past the first round, past the second, until it landed at pick number 144 in the 5th round. The reasons? Analysts said it went beyond his stat line. quiet whispers about leadership style, rumors of personality clashes with NFL decision-makers. And when Cleveland made the call, the reaction was divided, not just among fans and media, but, tellingly, even within the Browns' own ownership circle.
Mr. Haslam, that's a different animal right there. Mr. $230 million guaranteed deal to Deshaun Watson. And then he going to come out this time around. I had nothing to do with this pick. I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean,
Owner Jimmy Haslam didn't even try to mask his detachment. When pressed about the Browns' decision to draft Shedeur Sanders, his response was blunt. He had nothing to do with it. For many, those words were more than just a passing comment. They were a statement. In the NFL, owners rarely go out of their way to publicly separate themselves from a draft pick, especially a quarterback. It's an unspoken rule. If he's wearing your colors, he's your guy. But here, before Sanders has taken a single snap in a Browns uniform, the team's most powerful figure has already drawn a line in the sand. Whether intentional or not, the message reverberated through the locker room, the media, and the fan base. This is not my quarterback. And in a league where perception can shape a career as much as performance, that kind of signal is impossible to ignore.
But there are injuries on the depth chart, and Tyler Huntley just got there this week.
Right.
So, I don't think...
Then came the injuries, the unpredictable force that can reshape an NFL season before it even begins. Kenny Pickett, sidelined. Other quarterbacks on the roster nursing setbacks of their own. What was once a crowded, almost impenetrable depth chart suddenly began to shift. Roles were reconsidered. Reps were reassigned. And in the middle of that reshuffling, a vacancy appeared where none had existed just days before. The Browns needed a starter for their preseason opener. In the NFL, these moments don't wait for readiness. They demand action. And for Shedeur Sanders, the opportunity arrived without warning. Whether this opening was crafted by circumstance or quietly engineered by design is a question only those inside the building can answer. But from the outside, one thing is clear. The door that had been shut for weeks was now cracked open, and what happens next could change the trajectory of his career.
And then all of a sudden, he's starting tomorrow night. It's like you want him to fail.
To Steven, the timing and circumstances feel almost scripted and not in Sanders' favor. A rookie quarterback denied any meaningful first-team reps. A head coach who wasn't the one to call his name on draft day. An owner who has already gone on record to distance himself from the pick. And now, under the bright lights of a national broadcast, Sanders is being asked to step in and deliver against NFL-caliber competition. In this league, perception can harden into reality in a matter of minutes. One errant throw, one stalled drive, one costly mistake, and the narrative begins to write itself. For a young quarterback still fighting to prove he belongs, this isn't just a game. It's an audition, a trial, and perhaps even a verdict, all compressed into the span of a preseason night.
Obviously, the optics don't look great because it looks like there's friction between ownership and the front office as to why the pick was made in the first place, when it was made, and the situation that he was put in from the very beginning of camp of not getting first-team reps.
Right.
In the NFL, perception has a way of becoming reality, and once it takes hold, it's almost impossible to shake. For Shedeur Sanders, the stakes go far beyond his stat line. If he struggles, it won't just be about a few missed throws or a couple of poor reads. It will be framed as confirmation of every doubt that's been whispered since draft night. The narrative will shift from questioning his readiness to questioning his very place in Cleveland. And with an owner who's already distanced himself from the pick and a coaching staff that didn't draft him, that perception could gain traction quickly. In a league where careers can be defined in moments, this preseason start isn't just a chance to prove himself. It's a fight to control the story that will follow him long after the final whistle.
Obviously, the optics don't look great because it looks like there's friction between ownership and the front office as to why the pick was made in the first place, when it was made, and the situation that he was put in from the very beginning of camp of not getting first-team reps.
Right.
Publicly, the Browns maintain this is nothing more than an opportunity. A low-stakes preseason start designed to give their young quarterback valuable experience. But behind that polished explanation, the questions refuse to go away. Is Shedeur Sanders truly being given a fair shot to prove himself? Or is this shaping up to be the NFL's latest example of a franchise placing a rookie in a no-win situation. The stage is set, the spotlight is unforgiving, and the judgment will be swift. Tomorrow night, when Sanders takes that first snap, the eyes of the league will be locked on him, from the front office to the fans at home. And in a sport where reputations can be made or destroyed in a single evening, the next chapter of his career may be written before he even takes his second snap. What do you think? Is this a genuine opportunity or a hidden agenda? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more NFL stories the mainstream media won't tell you.